even though
If you don't gain, they fight in vain. Show them what you can do. Show them what you can do. Please show them what you can do. You make this parade a mere charade if you're marching just for fun. Our troops must feel your thanks for real before the marching is done. They know side by side you can match their stride to the drum beat and the brass, but they're not impressed with you unless you can match their stride in class. This may not sound too diplomatic, but I cannot be more emphatic as I tell you. It's problematic when you do less than your best. Especially when it's because you put your brilliance on pause for the mere peer applause it draws from a so-called friend doing less. Quit playing. I'm saying, you know that you are great, and we know. So show it. Don't make our heroes wait. In this parade, please wave your great and brave and fight for you. If you don't gain, they fight in vain. Show them what you can do. Show them what you can do. Please show them what you can do. For those of you who already do the things that make us proud, your nation in appreciation says thanks to you out loud. Your schoolmates should imitate the way you tap your potential. Let me try to convince them why their effort is essential. Our men and women during and after Desert Storm always warm above the norm, anywhere and everywhere on the planet. They need to follow our heroes' lead, but they cannot lead if they cannot read. Allow me, please, to plant this seed. Don't take freedom for granted. I'm serious. I'm furious to see U.S. schools behind. Remove the clatters, just a matter of making up our minds. In this parade, please wave your grace to the brave who fight for you. If you don't gain, they fight in vain. Show them what you can do. Show them what you can do. Please show them what you can do.
Yes, it is, Mr. Parnell.
We believe in you. Warriors protect you to do what you must to rise.
Good afternoon and welcome to Wave Your Grades on KUAW.org, the academic patriotism program that is dedicated to veterans and serious secondary scholars. I am your announcer, DeQuay Wilson. Now here is your host, Carl Boyd, civilian urban educator.
Thank you so very, very much. That is DeQuay Wilson. She is indeed our producer, engineer, announcer, and co-host on Wave Your Grades. And today is a very, very special program, and I say that selfishly because I will be talking to some gentlemen from Chicago, Illinois, whom I have known for decades, and as a matter of fact, we have a couple of things in common. I'll mention one to Paul Kelly, one of our very special guests, because we were talking about putting on our jackets, as it were. However, Brother Kelly, the reason I was wearing this is because it's a Kappa Alpha Psi blazer, and you couldn't see the insignia anyway.
Right. Well,
but at
I
any
can
rate,
appreciate that. And if I can share, I'm going to move my screen back, and if you see that plaque, that has to do with that's a fraternity offering, and got my name on it and picture, and so my Kappa corner is not far away.
Now you're talking. Now you're talking. And want to introduce Paul Kelly and Parnell Jenkins, teachers, fraternity members, and an R&B vocal group from the 60s and 70s. Thank you very much. You just heard from Paul Kelly. Parnell Jenkins, thank you for being with us this afternoon. Good afternoon to you.
Yes, sir.
All right. That was okay. I missed it because it was so faint. Can we turn up Parnell Jenkins, or maybe get closer to the transmitter? All right.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. Sure can. And I would like these gentlemen from my personal past to meet Attorney Valencia Broadus, who is with us on first Saturdays on this program, and she can tell us how long that has been going on. And we want her to introduce our very special student guests who will enjoy, I pray, a conversation with older gentlemen this afternoon. Attorney Valencia brought us, introduce us to those you have brought us.
I got that, Mr. Boyd. Brought us. Did y'all get that? Okay. So my name is Valencia Broadus. I'm an attorney here in Kansas City, Missouri, and that's my profession. But what I do is my passion. I guess anyway. My other passion in life is doing all we can to help develop young people, help them to catch their dreams and make them grow. And Mr. Boyd with Wave Your Grades, half mile away. And I know I'm saying that wrong, but there are so many different shows that last mile away. There's so many different programs, radio programs Mr. Boyd he's done and allowed us to be a part of, always letting our young people come and talk and share. And so, Mr. Boyd, we've been, I think, working with you doing radio here and there, we let us to participate for probably like 10 years. It's been a long time. We've been hanging out with you, and thank you for a long time. So we appreciate you a lot. Appreciate you a lot. So, but who we have with us today, two of the young men who are just great examples of young people working hard to catch their dreams and make it grow. And they want to know what we know. And so we first have Mr. Xavier. Can you share just a little bit about yourself? And then Mr. Micah, you chime right in right after that, please.
Yes. Hello, my name is Xavier Sidney. I'm an 8th grader at Bernard Campbell Middle School. And I'm just really happy to be on the show today.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Micah Smith. I am a junior at De La Salle. And I would say I'm very passionate about working out and staying fit. And at some point, I want to start my own business and open a gym to the community.
Okay.
This is so good. Attorney Valencia brought us these young men, Xavier and Micah. And the purpose of today's program is to talk from senior citizens, if you will, perspective of how much we appreciate young men like this. But in as much as Attorney Valencia brought us the Smart Club, the young people you bring with you are really the focus of the show. Before I ask any questions or make any other comments, let me find out from Attorney Broadus and the young men if there's something you would like to say, ask, or lead us in. Is your
Mr.
mic
Xavier?
up there?
I saw you thinking. Go ahead. And anything you want to share, especially with, I know we're going to be talking a little bit about music today. And so share a little bit about why you care about music. Let's just first start there for you, Mr. Xavier.
Oh, why I care about music?
Yeah.
I'm currently right now in 8th grade orchestra. We're gonna be having a competition in Branson on May 4th next year. So I really care about music because it's a way to get away from class and it's a way to like relax. Using my music stand right now to hold my phone. So
absolutely. Wonderful. I just wanted him to share that piece. And then with Mr. Thank you, with Mr. Mike, you talked a little bit about health and fitness. And I had the pleasure of being able to, I won't say judge, but to hear a lot about Mr. Micah's entrepreneurial business idea in using fitness in a way to help young people. And can you tell us a little bit about why fitness is important to you and how it could help other young people?
I think fitness is important because I believe that fitness, like working out, is a great way to, I guess, take your mind off of the negative and keeping your body in shape and healthy. And yeah.
No, that's good. The reason I wanted to, and I'll elaborate a little bit more on that one, because I think about with music and then with any type of, things that are health related. Hey, Mr. Dom, how are you today? That's the little brother. He's like, what are y'all doing? Come on, you can sit in with us. For Mr. Micah, one of the things that we talked about when he did his presentation and why he was so passionate about health and fitness and training others to learn how to, stay fit, and especially younger people, is because it's a way, as he was just saying, to keep their minds off of negative things, but it's also a way to help us to center ourselves and stabilize. And for young people, there's a lot that they're not learning that of how to regulate themselves, how to be calm, things that will calm them down when there's so much violence in the world. So a lot of what we do, we focus a lot on health as well. And a big part of that health piece, it's mind, body, soul. And for our young leaders, for them to stay healthy, to stay alive past 25. These are things that they've said, sometimes they'll make it past 25.
All
But they do a
right.
lot of that by learning more about how to control themselves. So health is one of those things, as is music. So we always want to
Outstanding.
highlight
Well,
the
let
in
me
school
ask.
stuff.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, please go
Let
ahead.
me ask now. Xavier said eighth grade. Micah, you are in what year in school?
I'm a junior.
Okay, eighth grade, a junior. And did someone join us since they introduced themselves? Who will introduce him or herself now? Who is the new person on the line with us? Attorney Broadus, I think you were speaking to someone. Did you know who it was? Did you mention their
Yeah, I
name?
did. Mr. Xavier's little brother
Oh, I
came
see. Okay, okay.
because he
Now,
wanted to see what we were doing. So I
oh,
was like, say hi to us,
okay.
say hi to us.
Now, eighth grade, junior in high school. Let me ask the gentleman I asked to be with us today. And Brother Kelly, the reason I thought about this is because you had sent to both Parnell and me something fraternity related. And then I thought about our backgrounds, teaching and traveling and all of that. But we're talking to an eighth grader. We're talking to a junior in high school. Will each of you, starting with Parnell Jenkins, give the young people and those who are joining us, listening and viewing, something of your background first in education, where you taught, what grade levels? Parnell Jenkins.
Okay, you'll have to excuse my voice. I have COPD, so I'll try and speak as clearly as I can. Well, anyway, I taught elementary school for a period of about 25 years. And during that time, I taught three through eighth grade, and then also primarily a music teacher, 3 through 8th grade. I never taught in the high school. I wasn't interested in the young people at that age, and but it was a great experience for me in terms of the time that I did spend teaching. And in addition to teaching, I sang in a group called the Teachers Edition with Carl Boyd and the other guests on the show, Mr. Paul Kelly, and there were two other members who are deceased. But we traveled extensively in Southeast Asia. We went on a couple USO tours. And what USO tours are about, it provides entertainment for servicemen and servicewomen throughout the world. The first tour that we ventured upon was to Japan, and then we went to Korea, Okinawa, the Philippines, and Guam. And the tour lasted between 30 and 35 days. The second tour that we had gone on was to Vietnam and also Thailand. And I believe that was in the early 70s. And it was a great experience in terms of seeing parts of the world that we probably would not have been able to see otherwise. And we've known each other, I guess, Carl and also Paul. We've known each other for over, let's see, well, it has to be over 60 years. We went to college together.
Yes.
And throughout the years, we managed to appreciate each other and be of encouragement to each other in whatever area we might have been involved in. So I don't want to take up all the time, so I'll maybe yield to Brother Paul Kelly, if that's okay, Brother Carl.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. My goodness. Oh, man, such good memories. Go ahead, Brother Paul Kelly.
My gosh, I'll try to be brief and be gone, as they say. I'm relating to both Xavier and Micah because music in my family it was just in our DNA. I did, in fact, minor in music, college level. After the undergrad, I went to the Chicago Musical College and studied bassoon. I taught on the middle school level, 7th and 8th grade, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. At various times, I had the choir and the band, and I'm just delighted to hear Xavier talk about the importance of music, and it's just it's spiritual as far as I'm concerned. With Micah, staying in shape, when we begin to understand the connection between mind and body, you are on the right track. You are truly on the right track. And Carl can bear witness to the fact that the group, the Teachers Edition, we were all athletically inclined. I played on the baseball team with Parnell. Well, he was one strong country boy, what I tell you. And Claude and I on the basketball team, and John on the baseball team as well.
Right.
One of my fondest memories is coming from a baseball practice with John and Parnell, and we started doing our rendition of It's All Right.
It's All Right by the Impressions.
Impressions, exactly. So having talked on in the middle school grade, I'm kind of with Parnell. I wasn't interested in teaching at the high school level. However, when I transitioned from the classroom to administration, our school became a high school. So it came to me, and I managed to survive. Been blessed.
Amen, brother. And so appreciative of the time that we did have together. Now, I started in '64 teaching 7th and 8th grade science. And when young men, Micah and Xavier, you hear Paul Kelly say, we were athletically inclined. I was athletically inclined. I just wasn't athletically talented. But Paul, you've heard my story, and people here have heard my story. I actually played on the basketball team at Lindblom High School, and my best friend Robert Tops used to call me Judge because I spent all my time on the bench. But I was inclined. But I would like to, as Brother Kelly was leading us, to go back to Micah and Xavier, music, entrepreneurialism, and some of the things that they are doing now with Attorney Valencia brought us that are beyond even those aspirations and the music. They're doing some community service, and Sister Valencia brought us, if they are too humble to mention what they're doing, you catch us up with them, but let's see if we can hear it from them. What are you guys doing now outside of the classroom and with Attorney Broadus? We'll start with Xavier first.
Right now, outside the classroom?
With Attorney Broadus, what is the program that she has, and what are you doing with her?
Every Thursday I come in and meet her because she's teaching a class with a bunch of other young students also. So I come in, I join in, and I just learn from what she talks about, from what they're learning also. I really like it.
Do you do any cooking?
And I want to share that a big part with Mr. Xavier and Brother Mike as well. But Mr. Xavier, when he comes in on the Thursdays, as he's listening, and we have a career kitchen. And so in our career kitchen, what we do is we introduce them, especially on the Thursday Connection Cafe, to just whatever their career dreams are, these students. We try to make sure that we're connecting them to people who have that either they're doing it, volunteers, adults, or we make sure that we're giving them the information. And because food and music bring us all together, we focus a lot on food. So we try to, cook food, make it happen. And one of the things that Mr. Xavier that he did for us over the summer, that he will begin to do a little bit more with Mr. Micah's help and a few others, is we begin to lay over the financial literacy elements of life there.
Oh, yeah.
And so that's a big part of what will happen on Thursdays. Like we had a lawyer come in, that talked this Thursday, but that's a day where we just have people talk about their careers and all of that. So it's the perfect time when Mr. Xavier is coming in. We'll begin to talk about, and as he did for us over the summer. So your career goal, that's great. How much will you make? And is it going to pay your bills? And so he helped us do that a little bit. So he'll be helping us do that financial literacy piece quite a bit more there. And then Mr. Micah, as we talked about last Saturday, and he'll share with you if he would like a little bit more about how he's been, of course, learning and spreading financial literacy with everything else just around the community. So these two are our financial literacy ambassadors. So we're trying to just find places to where they can be and then drop the nuggets while they're being there.
And now, young brother Micah, please understand, even while some of this was discussed last week, there are many people who did not hear what was discussed last week. So, Micah, will you tell Mr. Jenkins and Mr. Kelly what you are doing with Attorney Valencia Broadus in her leadership?
Yeah. So, add on what she was saying, we study financial literacy, and Miss V, she assigned a lot of assignments on Khan Academy, and it goes over what financial literacy is about and all the different things that come with financial literacy. And they have quizzes that goes over what you just learned and read about. And yes.
That is so
Mr. Micah, let me ask you this question I think I'm still muted. Sorry. Mr. Micah, when we talk about, as we asked you to lead us a little more in financial literacy, if you will, and there was a reason for that, if you will talk a little bit about the first time you were in one of my sessions and what you thought about financial literacy, and then how now you feel different. I think that'll be important.
Very good.
Okay. Freshman year, they got this program called Block 37, and they gave internships, and I had my internship, and the financial literacy class came with it. So that's when I first met Miss Valencia. And during freshman year, during the financial literacy class, I wasn't really paying attention, and I wasn't really interested then. But then over time, as I got older, I started to realize financial literacy is actually fun to learn about, and it's something that we all need knowledge about because it helps us become financially stable for the future, and the pros and cons of financial literacy and not knowing about financial literacy. And yes, financial literacy, I really enjoy learning about it, and it has really helped me over time.
And now he says everybody should know about financial literacy. So he is studying more and helping us to get it out there more. And so he and Mr. Xavier, there's a couple that took it a little more. And yes. You could feel they're getting it, so they'll help us move it.
And it is consistent with his career aspirations, considering he wants to be an entrepreneur. Brother Kelly, you were going to say.
Yes, this business of financial literacy, on two levels. With our singing group, we were certainly interested in developing as artists, but we very soon began to understand the fact that most of the money, the real money, I should say, well, it's all real, but the money that folks can retire on was in writing and producing. So one of we actually started our own label called Ebonic Sound to kind of work toward that goal. And Mr. Farnell Jenkins on the writing side continued writing even after we stopped singing. And the proof in that pudding is the fact that he is still collecting royalties from a song that he wrote and we produced it for High Records. For High Records, for those of you who may not know, produced Al Green and Peoples, Otis Clay. But Farnell's song found its way to England. And Carl, you can tell me the Costello, was that the gentleman's name?
Elvis Costello. Of course, now you said I could tell you his name. Farnell can tell you better than I. But in the United Kingdom, I think it went to something like 25. But I'll let Farnell tell that because that's something we are all proud of.
Absolutely, and it definitely connects with this business of being financially literate, knowing, being artists and having the gym and being in shape, that's certainly important. But for Micah, when you get to the point where you have your establishment, your physical fitness establishment, there's going to be that financial side that needs to be attended to.
And since Brother Kelly did bring it up, let's ask Brother Parnell Jenkins. Not only, you know what you made me think of, Paul, not only is Parnell still engaged, but also has a curriculum package for schools.
Yes.
And teaching using music. If you don't mind, Brother Jenkins, to speak to both of those, I Want to Be Loved, one, and then what you offer to schools by the way of helping young people learn through music.
Okay. I want to be I want to be loved. We recorded it as was stated on High Records with Willie Mitchell, and I think what happened there, Willie Mitchell sold his catalog, and by his catalog I mean tunes that were recorded on High Records. He sold his catalog to London Records in England, and I believe while the tune was put on London Records, somehow I believe Elvis Costello heard it and decided to record it, and it became one of his top records on his compilation of tunes there.
Yes.
Not only in England, but also, I guess, worldwide. But in terms of the entertainment industry, the real money is in publishing. And by publishing, what we mean is each time that a record is played on radio, the station has to pay so much, maybe a penny or 2 pennies, each time that particular song is played. And that might seem kind of minuscule or whatever, but when you think about the millions of times that a tune is played, not only in a certain locale, but throughout the world, those few pennies become thousands of dollars. And that's what many artists had come to realize, that the real money was not necessarily in record sales per se, but was in publishing. In publishing, that also included printed music. So that's where the money is. And since Mr. Micah was concerned with financial literacy, that's an area that he would, I'm quite certain, appreciate. And I would like to also add, Carl, you had made reference to the writing aspect, and what was the other?
I was asking about the materials that you have for schools teaching young people with music.
Right. Okay, I wrote and produced an album of children's music pertaining to social and educational concepts. And it was done in a recording studio in Libertyville a good while ago. But the concepts that we attempted to relate to children, concepts such as counting, educational concepts in terms of counting in Spanish, and let me see, what are some some of the other areas in terms of educational social concepts, learning to say "excuse me, please." And for example, the song "Excuse Me, Please" incorporates the idea that many times kids get into conflicts over someone stepping on their toe. And the song states, "If I step on your toe, what should I say? Excuse me, please. If I step on your toe, what should I say? Excuse me, please." Sometimes we act like it's a disease to say, "Excuse me, please." But anyway, it deals with social and educational concepts in a more contemporary form that children, let's say from preschool through fourth grade, could really appreciate. And I'm still in the process of trying to get it marketed throughout, not just locally, but nationally and internationally also. And I'd like to encourage, especially Brother Micah and Brother Xavier, whatever area you might be interested in, pursue it, and pursue it with the best of your ability, and don't be discouraged by it not coming into fruition as quickly as you might like. But if that's your area of interest, definitely pursue it, and don't ever give up on it, and don't ever let anyone discourage you from trying to achieve whatever goals you set for yourself. And while I'm speaking, I thought of there's a retired professional football player. Has anyone in the group here ever heard of Tamba Ali? How about you, attorney? He was a lineman for, I believe, he's retired now, but he was a lineman for a while with, I believe, the Kansas City Chiefs, and he also played with a couple other teams. But I believe his name is spelled Tamba, Tambali. And the reason it comes to mind is because I think he's in Kansas City. I don't know if it's Kansas City, Kansas, or Missouri. But he was an outstanding professional football player. So Carl, if you get a chance, perhaps you can maybe look that up.
Absolutely.
And he's also, since he retired, he's gotten involved in producing music, and more or less from the more contemporary standpoint.
Yes.
And it would be worthwhile if you get a chance to, to check it out, check him out.
All right.
And,
yes, sir. I did find he was drafted by the Chiefs in 2006, but I had never heard of him. So it's Tamba Hali, Hali.
Now,
okay. I think he resides, and he and his family there in either, I'm not sure, Kansas City, Kansas, or Kansas City, Missouri.
Well,
and the reason I'm affiliated with him, we both participate in a Zoom class.
Oh, I see.
A music writing class every Sunday.
Well,
so if you get a chance, just kind of try and check that out. But I want to especially encourage Micah and Xavier to, hey, whatever your interest, don't stop. Pursue it definitely with all that you have.
Well, let me tell you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Let me tell you two things you made me mindful of. And the first one, Brother Xavier, Brother Micah, is to ask outside of the financial literacy and outside of what is important academically, what are some of your favorite activities outside of school? If you want to have recreation, if somebody sent you on a vacation to do anything you wanted to do and you could take however many friends, what's fun and entertaining for you right now? We'll take the old man first. Micah, we'll take Micah first this time. What do you enjoy doing?
I enjoy, well, I play the game, but I would say just spending time with my family, and if not my family, then socializing with my friends and just hanging out.
This is really good because I said wanted to mention two things, and you're taking me to thing number two. But let's go to Xavier first. What do you enjoy doing outside of school?
Probably going outside around my bike.
Oh.
Outside around my bike and just like seeing the world around me, like adventuring, gives me a sense of imagination.
Sounds like exercise to me. Now, number two, Farnell Jenkins just mentioned that he had something that he would offer that would help young people pay attention to just simple courtesies, getting along, ideas for life, being wise. Tell us, as old as we are, how young people relate to each other and encourage each other. We know Attorney Valencia brought us encourages you, leads you, but how about your peers? How do you relate to each other in the way that Mr. Jenkins was talking? Excuse me, please, that kind of thing. How do you relate to each other? Okay, Micah, you can go ahead. How do you help each other and how do you help them?
Well, to be honest, I will. I don't know how to say it.
You get along with each other very well. How do you encourage a friend if somebody came to you with an idea or something? What do you say to them?
I say that it's a good idea, and I will do my best to help them. To what I want to say, I guess. I don't know how to say it, but I guess I would just I would encourage them and I will assist them, and I would not belittle them or degrade them or ruin their hopes and daydreams.
Wow. How old are you?
16.
Brothers Jenkins and Kelly, did you hear that coming from a 16-year-old?
Yes, and my brain is just blowing up. If I could jump in here.
Okay, let me do one thing because I know it is. Let's give Xavier an opportunity, and then you can respond to both of them because I know you got some stuff on your mind. Xavier, how do you relate to your friends? And that was very encouraging from Micah.
How I relate to my friends?
Yes, and how do they relate to you in terms of encouragement, courtesy, enthusiasm, whatever it might be?
Like enthusiasm, courtesy, like, and intelligence. It was like before, like elementary school when you're with your friends and you're talking. It's just that y'all talk about things that y'all enjoy, but because we're now in middle school, 8th grade, going to high school next year, it's just we are talking together about like different things that we want to do, and then like in a split second about we talk about classes, grades, homework assignments, and we do not even realize what's happening. We're just like we're just talking over and over again. We're like, how did we get to this point? And other times we're trying to set up things like right now we have clubs in our school, and we're all trying to figure out what clubs we can do to go to join together in courtesy. It'll be mainly through the way that we treat others. We treat each other, and we treat each other very well.
Wow. Brother Paul Kelly.
I'll try to be brief. It's not easy.
Come on with it.
First of all, I would make 3 points. First, there's a play called The Three Magic Words. The two that come to mind are please and thank you. And I think that definitely connects with the theme of Farnell's music effort. Please and thank you. Secondly, to Micah and Xavier, you don't know it, but clearly you're trying to be your best selves, but there's someone watching you. You may never know who they are, but by just being yourself and trying to be your best self, you will have a profound influence on others. And lastly, I'm sure your parents are concerned that you're being good students. There's been studies done that determine which of 3 groups result in the most success in being a student. One is those kids who just study all the time. Those who study and have a few activities in addition to, aside from separate from school or separate from study, or those who study and have 1,600 things that they're trying to do in one. It's the middle group. It's the middle group. So you're on the right track. I'm showing you do your homework, but Xavier, you're involved in your music, and Micah, you're involved in staying in shape. That qualifies and helps you to in the goal of being good students as well.
Outstanding. Attorney Valencia Brothers.
Hi. I don't have anything to say because the students are so amazing.
Yes.
And I'm always excited because they can speak for themselves. And that's really what we develop our young people more to do. To read, write, critical think, and speak, and financial literacy, do computers, be healthy, eat better. And we appreciate that they allow us and all of our volunteers and like at the radio show, any way that we can help, but we can't help if they don't want to even come and hang out with us. So I appreciate that they come hang out with us, because without them letting us pour into them, we can't do that. So thank you to my awesome students. And I mean, you guys do great stuff, and they tell their friends about it. And so they're spreading the energy, like, y'all need to come to let's go career clubbing. That's what we call it, career clubbing. And so it's exciting. Anyway, so I could talk all day.
Well, the conversation was flowing. We didn't take our mid-program break, but I do want our producer, engineer, announcer, co-host KUAW Wilson to give our break announcement. We'll come back. Almost time to close the program. I can't believe that. But here is KUAW Wilson.
I'm going to be quick because we do only have a few minutes left, but I want to remind our 7th and 8th grade students that you can win a monetary award from our sponsoring organization, Stutes for Boots. Yes, we do say organization. We do so on purpose with purpose. Your essay title will be Heroes You Know You Did Not Know Were Heroes. Your content will identify a veteran at your school. That veteran can be absolutely anyone, a teacher, custodian, coach, cafeteria worker, absolutely anyone. If your essay is chosen and submitted by an adult who gives you permission to read it on this Wave Your Grades program, you will be awarded a monetary prize. For entry or inquiry, please send an email to stootsforboots@gmail.com. That is stootsforboots@gmail.com. Stootsforboots@gmail.com. Now back to our host, Carl Boyd.
Thank you so very, very much. And brothers Jenkins and Kelly, as well as our young men Xavier and Micah, you heard in that announcement that we do offer an essay contest. And the title of the essay is Heroes You Know You Didn't Know Were Heroes. And one of the young ladies who did indeed write such an essay selected an educator who had been an administrator, a classroom teacher, but it was someone who never talked about his career in the service. Now, inasmuch as we're close to the end of the program, I am going to ask the four of you, Xavier, Micah, Farnell Jenkins, and Paul Kelly, to just name briefly if there's someone you know who has served who might be the subject of an essay, Heroes You Know You Didn't Know Were Heroes. Are there any of those kinds of heroes in your life? And then I'm going to formulate the question for Paul Kelly and Farnell Jenkins, and for that matter, for myself. Was there someone, even if we don't know their name, who inspired us when we were on our USO shows? So let's start with the young men first. Brother Micah, is there anyone you know who is a veteran or might be serving now?
Well, the only person I can think of is my pastor, Pastor Floyd J. Sullivan.
Yes, sir.
And I know he used to serve, and he is my hero because even his given his age and all the stuff that he's going through, it to me it doesn't get to him. He still does what he needs to do, and it's encouraging and inspiring.
Wow. Thank you, Brother Xavier.
One person I know of is at a middle school, Paul Kinder Middle School in Blue Springs. It was no, not middle school. Thomas Olskin Elementary in Blue Springs, Missouri. It was my custodian. I forgot his name, but he retired. Also, sorry, I forgot what he fought in. But he has went to war, and he was like one of my favorite people to hang out with, because he would be like the type of person that I'll hang out with when at recess time when he's outside fixing something.
Wow.
I just haven't heard.
That is inspirational in and of itself. My goodness, pastor and custodian. So you know why we call it Heroes You Know You Didn't Know Were Heroes. Neither of them is going around bragging about themselves, and yet they have served meritoriously. Let me ask, which of you gentlemen want to go first? I'm thinking, and it doesn't have to be that. I'm thinking about when we were doing USO shows, but it might be someone else. Heroes you know you didn't know were heroes. Anybody who served or is currently serving. Paul Kelly.
Real quickly, one of the tours that we did, I think it was the first tour, was the Pacific Hospital Circuit. We met a service person who had been severely injured to the point where they had his head with pins on both sides so he wouldn't move and die. He had the greatest spirit, and I found that so encouraging on the level that, yeah, we have our challenges, but we don't give up. And he hadn't given up in spite of this, again, very severe, life-threatening injury.
Wow. Outstanding. Brother Jenkins, anybody you can think of?
Yeah, I was going back, thinking of back in my childhood. There was a gentleman by the name of Larry. I don't know Larry's last name, but Larry had fought, I believe it was in the Korean conflict. And I imagine I must have been maybe about 10 or 11 at the time. And he would spend quite a bit of time with me at the playground, pitching, playing horseshoes. And he also taught me a game of baseball with pop bottle tops.
Oh my!
We would go around and tops, pop bottle tops, and we would use as a bat a broomstick handle. And with these pop bottle tops, we would pitch as if it were a baseball, making them curve and do all kinds of funny kind of things. He taught me many skills as it relates to life, and I'll always be indebted to him. And it's a shame,
Praise
but
God.
I don't know if anybody created a great impression on me as a kid.
Yes,
and
sir.
I'm very grateful
All
to
right.
him for the time that he spent with me. And he and here again, he was a hero, a gentleman who had served in the armed forces in the Korean conflict.
Yes, sir.
So that's going back a little while.
Thank you.
Well, that explains why you became such a great switch hitter.
Well, let me say, we have 1:59 on the clock. We're supposed to end at 2, but this is the fastest hour. And thank you all so very much. I was just going to mention the young man we met whose limbs were severed, and he was telling us as a singing group, tell the people back in the world that we're doing just fine. This was a young man in his 20s with severed limbs and yet was encouraging us. Thank you, Paul Kelly. Thank you, Parnell Jenkins, Brother Xavier, Brother Micah, Attorney Valencia Broadus. God bless you. Here is our announcer, DeQuay Wilson.
Thank you all, our listeners and our guests, for joining us on your Stoots for Boots Wave Your Grades program. We come to you live every Saturday from 1 until 2 p.m. Central Standard Time at the W.E.B. Du Bois Learning Center right here in Kansas City, Missouri. I am your announcer, DeQuay Wilson. Now, if he'll squeeze it in, our host, Carl Boyd, will close with his Carl's commentary on academic patriotism and his daily message for students in honor of our veterans from his book, Morning Messages.
I'll just do one morning message. Today is October 7th. To students across the USA, your Stoots for Boots message for this day, October 7th. You do not study just for the examination. You study to preserve the prominence of our nation. My name is Carl Boyd. Gracious God and wonderful Wanda, I'm on my way home.